Alright, part 2 of the Impala. I have it up in the air right now. I'm just going to give you a brief show of what was done on this car to make it a good driver. Put a new fuel tank in it, new dual exhaust on it when it was done. Here's a classic example of the trunk was rusty. I put the replacement panel in for the body mounts, new body mounts. If you look here, it also has the new body mount back here, tough to see. I had the original shocks on it, I left them on. New brake lines, redid the rear drum brakes on it. I did put new coil springs on it because the coil springs were shot, one was broken. I'll come down here. I put big mufflers on it because I wanted to quiet up, make a good cruiser. New drive shaft. Here's the new fuel line. Actually, that's the brake line. This rubber hose here. I hate the smell of gasoline, believe it or not. I love old cars and I hate the smell of gas. I hate gas on my skin. So I sealed the fuel tank and I ran the vapor line for the fuel tank up into the carbon canister so that it would never smell of gas. So technically its emissions good. I ran the electric fuel pump in the tank, push lock hose, aluminum fuel line. The go and the return run up the passenger side of the car. There they go. Came up to the cross member. You'll see here where the cross member was moved back. Mounts re-welded to the frame when I had the body off. Again, all new body mounts everywhere. The doors shut great on this car. No sagging, no nothing. The exhaust company did an X-pipe. You can see it on the side. You say, how did I get the column shift to work? I made my own. Chevy truck again. Heated it up and got a tight bend. It's going to be tough to see. Tight bend at the top of this. Drops into the shift mechanism. Came across. Extended it over. Used the spring on it for my shift linkage. Created this arm. Ran this up to the column shift. Had to do an extension on this. Put the bushing in it to make everything work. There's the bushing. I wanted to leave the car column shift. I didn't want an aftermarket shifter on it. I wanted the factory column shift. There's the oxygen sensor, one wire in 1993. Here's the suspension. New springs in the front. I reused the original shocks in the front too. So there we go. Disc brake conversion for a Gen 5 big block. To clear the steering in this car, had to go with the Milodon pan. Small starter, knock sensor, again dual exhaust, transmission cooler lines, right up to the bottom of the aluminum radiator. There is rust hole in the floor. I fixed that with a license plate. But other than that, the frame is nice in this car, and it wasn't in terrible shape. But I wanted to make it a driver. Let me show you the 80 wiring harness came down, all the stock. The speed sensors. and that. This is the underside of the Impala. I did use an in-tank pump that I cross-referenced the part number for to make it work. You'll see on the back here 15 by 8s on the back, 255/60 R15s. Car's got a few holes in it, but I've treated the inside of the holes with rust converter. I don't want it getting any worse. But I like the patina on the car. So the fronts are 15 by 7s, 235/60 R15s in the front. There's my big block turbojet emblems. That's it for part 2 of the Impala.